Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osama here, and in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how can you enable the guests option in your HighLevel calendars while making sure that you account for their payments. This can be really useful in use cases where one person makes an appointment for multiple guests and you want to make sure that you calculate the total price based on the amount of guests and you charge that upfront. So let's jump into my screen right here and I'll show you how to set this up. All right, so on my screen, you can see I'm under calendars and I already have created a calendar called Paddle Code Booking, a really popular racket sport these days. So let's use this as an example, but of course this will be applicable for any industry or use case where you can have multiple guests under the same appointment. So let's go ahead and click on this edit option right here. And we're going to head over to forms and payments. So the first prerequisite for this is, of course, that you are collecting payments. So this needs to be enabled, of course. And once you have that set up, just scroll a little above and you will see this option called add guests. By default, this toggle will be off, but once you enable this, it will ask you to collect payment for all attendees if you want. And if you enable this option and hit save, it will give you two further options. So the first one is a choice. Do you require just the name and email of the guest, or do you just want the count? So depending on your preference, you can choose that. And if I just select the count, then it will just ask the number of guests and multiply that with this total price here, and that will give you the total cost of that booking. So if I just go back here, the second option is, do you require guests for booking? So if you enable this option, then it will make it mandatory to have at least one guest in this appointment, and it will not let the person booking the appointment go through without adding one more guest. So basically what that means is that you can multiply this cost by 2, and that will be the least price for this booking. So let's go ahead and see this in action. I'm going to go ahead and click on save. This was all the part about the settings. So we can just go ahead and close this out. And then we're going to copy the URL for this calendar. And I'm going to open this in a new tab. So let's go ahead and pick one of these slots right here. And then you will see in a moment that the total amount right now is 150 as it stands. We haven't added any guests. So let me just go ahead and enter my information real quick. All right, so I've added that in. And now if I add one guest here, you will see that the price increased to 300. And if I change this number, it will keep going up. So it is basically multiplying the number of guests by the base price that we had set, which was $150. So depending on how many guests this person wants this booking, they can just enter that and then just go ahead and enter their card details to make the appointment. So I have this calendar in test mode, so I've added a dummy card right here, and I'll go ahead and schedule this meeting right here just to show you how this will work. So this will just take a few seconds and boom, there we go. And now if I head back here and go to calendars and go to appointment list view. So if we go here, you can see we have a couple of appointments here. This was an early one that I was testing. So if I go ahead and click on view details, and then if I scroll down under attendees, you can see that it says 2 more. So it's basically 2 more guests. And if you had that option enabled where you want to collect the name and email of the guest, then you would also see their name and email right here. And as an example, I have that booking. So if I show you the details for that type of booking, so in this case, you can see the guest's name if you had enabled that option. And if you click on their avatar or name, it will open that in a new tab. And then you will see that you do have a contact created where you have their name and their email. So this was a really quick and easy way to ensure that you enable guests and still account for their payments. I hope this video was valuable for you. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them right below. This is Osama signing off. I'll see you in the next one.